Hello everyone, you're all welcome to the third session on corporate social responsibility in India. The theme of this session is the learning phase, starting from 2013 till 2019. But before we start this session, I would quickly like to recap the previous two sessions what we had discussed. So in session 1, we had gone into the historical evolution of CSR. We had traced the entire history from ancient times, both domestically and globally. We touched upon the global developments and we arrived at the landmark year of 2013 when the Companies Act of 2013 was adopted. This act incorporated two things. One, the stakeholder model of governance, make it obligatory on the board to act in the interest of its shareholders, employees, community, and protection of environment. The other thing that was incorporated was the CSR provision, the Section 135, along with the CSR policy and policy rules and the Schedule 7, setting out the activities that can be taken up by corporations for undertaking the CSR activities. In this session, we will discuss what happened after the 2013 adoption of the Section 135, the developments and the corporations, the issues that they faced, and the controversies and other aspects that came into light. So the section, as was incorporated in 2013, it came into effect from 1st April 2014. So the year 2014 and 15 ending on March 31st was the first financial year after which the companies would have started reporting on the CSR activities that were undertaken and the compliance with the section. Before this, in February 2015, the MCA established a committee, a high level committee, to propose measures for implementation of CSR provisions by the companies and the government. So this committee report came out in September 2015, clearly saying that since we didn't have the insight on in the data that had started to come out after the March 31st end of the financial year. So they propose that maybe in 3 years' time, once the learning phase is over, another high committee can be established to look into the data and review that. In meanwhile, this company did make certain recommendations, highlighted certain observations with regard to the provision. But with regard to specifically on the measures for implementation, it made clear observation that it is for the company, its board, and CSR committee which are responsible for its implementation, since they are the ones who are answerable for shareholders for its implementation. It specifically made an observation that since CSR incorporation in the Act is only on this comply or explain model, the government is not empowered to go beyond that. It made clear observation as to the effect that since there is a responsibility on the board to make it a disclosure in its report, so that public scrutiny is enough for its implementation. So they did not, that committee did not make any other recommendations for any further stringent means or any other mechanism to be incorporated in this framework. Though it did make certain observations on issues like carry forward of CSR amount, contribution to government funds, all these issues are actually still standing. So we will while discuss these once we go into detail on the High Committee report of 2019. So after this committee, in November 2016, there were certain parliament questions that had been specifically asked from the Minister of Company Affairs, asking about the status of non-compliance of CSR provisions by the companies and what steps that the government was taking to ensure compliance. Then in April 2018, the MCA had constituted a legal subcommittee chaired by Joint Director Legal to again get into the implementation of the CSR provision and make recommendations. This subcommittee clearly made quite serious observations with regard to the non-compliance of CSR provision. It recommended that there is a need for initiating stricter compliance towards monitoring of CSR provisions. It went beyond 135 and stated that since it's the board's responsibility to ensure disclosure with regard to adoption of CSR policy, constitution of CSR committee, and disclosure of reasons for not undertaking CSR activities or spending CSR amount, and any of that failure should be penalized under the relevant provision of section 134. And it also proposed a format of issuing show cause notice to the corporations, the companies which were non compliant. After this committee, in sometime in November 18, the MCA constituted the high level committee, which was proposed to be constituted in the 2015 report to take on to go deeper into the whole CSR framework and make recommendations. In before the report had come out, the Companies Amendment Act of 2019 received President's assent on 31st July 2019. So coming to the Companies Amendment Act of 2019, it made significant changes to CSR provision, which created a lot of public criticism. One of the main things was the criminal liability. It introduced criminal liability for not spending the CSR amount. What it proposed was that the CSR amount, if not spent, should be moved to a special fund that should be created by the company. And after 3 years, if the money is not spent from that fund, then the entire amount should be transferred to a special fund created by the government. If either the money is not spent or it is the money is not moved to a government fund, then the company and director both were liable. The company were to receive a civil liability of rupees 25,000, which could be extended to rupees 25 lakhs. And for every officer of the company in default, the penalty was rupees 50,000 extendable to rupees 5 lakhs or imprisonment for 3 years or both. This, along with other changes, one of which was that the base for the CSR provision was extended. So, since the calculation of CSR amount was to be done as an average of 3 financial years, the companies which were not in existence for 3 years, it was the amendment proposed that these companies should calculate their CSR spend based on the time that they have been in existence. So, if they are incorporated only for 2 years, but they do meet the threshold for CSR provision applicability, then they will have to take an average of 2 years profits. So this way, the base was also extended. So these, among other changes, created a lot of criticism, and there were a lot of public criticism on this provision, and eventually the government had to reverse the applicability. So, due to heavy public criticism of these proposed amendments, the government had to reverse its stand. And right after the high level committee report came out, and it made certain recommendations which are now proposed in the latest draft bill. So this, before we go into the amendments or recommendations proposed by the committee report, there are certain statistics which we should have a look, which are set out in the government report itself. First of all, since the financial year 2015 till 2019, though there was a continuous rise in the CSR companies, that is the companies which qualified or on which the CSR provision was applicable, CSR spend had gone into a varied sort of pattern. Firstly, it increased and then it started decreasing, and then finally it came up in 2018 19. These, in terms of percentages, basically means that only 67% companies report. Out of those 67% companies, 71% actually spend. So in effect, there are only 57% companies which are meeting the compliance of spending the money. The other interesting fact is that majority of these companies which fall into the zero CSR expenditure bracket, and majority of companies, without quoting the percentage, the report states that the lion's share of companies do not report and have not constituted the CSR committee. So just to recall, the actual mandatory requirement under the CSR provision is that firstly the CSR companies required to constitute a board committee called CSR committee. That committee has to propose and make recommendation for the CSR policy, and overall responsibilities of the board to ensure that this policy is implemented, and this board is required to make disclosures pertaining to CSR in its board report, and if the spend has not been made, then explaining the reason why. So the mandatory part with regard to constitution of the committee and reporting in the board report, both of them are missing. So out of the companies which make the reporting on CSR spend, only 71% of these 67% companies reporting they make the spend. So in effect, there are only 57% compliant companies. The good part is that the amount of CSR spend that has been spent since 2014 has been in constant increase. So from 10,000 some crores, it has now gone up to 18,000 crores. So there are definitely companies which are spending more because the number of companies has been not 100% companies are meeting the requirement. The other interesting aspect on this statistics is that a good number of companies, instead of taking the CSR projects itself, actually end up contributing to the existing CSR government schemes and plans such as Clean Ganga, Swachh Bharat, or PM's National Relief Fund. So, in this regard, the actual observation of the report is very interesting, and which is where the complete essence of CSR lies. So right from the adoption of section 135, this had been categorically maintained by the government that the idea of CSR provision is not to create corpus for the government, or it is not a tax and it is not a cess. It is only to inculcate the sense of social responsibility in the corporates, so that they take on projects and activities where they can actually contribute responsibly towards the environment, social, or the related development in the areas that they operate. So if you see the nature of activities in as proposed in this schedule, many of which are not just charitable, they are actually for money to be spent in incubation of startup projects, or the idea is to basically companies to use its innovation, its technology, its organizational characteristics, and so on and so forth, to make actual significant and tangible impact in this regard. So the whole idea or objective gets defeated if the government, if the corporations only to do the tick the box compliance, just invest or put the money, their CSR spend money in the government funds. In this regard, what is important to observe is that one of the main incentives why corporations do that is because most of these government funds are tax friendly or tax efficient. So there is an inconsistency across the Schedule 7 in kind of activities that you can take up. So there is less incentive for the companies to take on CSR projects through themselves or by through implementation agencies if they have to also spend the tax on it. And instead, if they straight away contribute, they don't have to go through the whole effort of implementing activities and taking on CSR projects, and can straight away invest the money, the CSR spend in government schemes and avail tax benefits. So one of the recommendations by the this high level committee report is to firstly completely remove this government funds from the Schedule 7, and secondly to make all the activities in Schedule 7 tax efficient. So there is no tax additional tax liability for making this kind of spend by the companies. The other important recommendations are firstly enhancement of scope. So the proposal is to include LLPs. On the other hand, the amendment that had proposed making it the provision applicable even on the companies which have not been in existence for more than 3 years, This recommendation of this committee is to undo that. Their proposal is to, if we want to encourage ease of doing business in India, we should not add this burden to the startup or new companies. So they propose that only after the existence has been for 3 years that the company should be made to spend. The other recommendations are to ease the burden on smaller companies which do not, where CSR spend is not more than 50 lakh rupees. So they don't have to constitute a committee, and they can either also carry out their CSR functions in collaboration with other companies. So that's another change that has been proposed. Carry forward is something is on the similar lines as what was proposed in the amendment, that the money should be put into a separate fund called unspent CSR fund, and after 3 to 5 years, if the company fails to spend that amount, that money should move to another government fund. Now, the interesting part is that what happens to that government fund is not clarified. How that money will be spent by the government, what will be the accountability for that money, that is not there in this report. The penalties, as mentioned earlier, the criminal liability has been removed. The penalty has been enhanced to 2 to 3 times, making it 2 to 3 times of the default amount or up to 1 crores, whatever is. Basically, completely imprisonment has been removed. In reporting, again, the observation of the committee is that the reporting is not effective, and to make it more effective, the format of CSR reports should be changed so there is more disclosure to understand the kind of activities and what is being undertaken by a company. It is also proposed to include CSR in statutory financial audit. On impact assessment, there is a quite detailed discussion in the report. What is proposed is that the companies themselves should undertake impact studies, at least in those projects where the money CSR amount is more than 5 crores. This can be undertaken every 3 years instead of every year. With regard to government's assessment or third party assessment, it is proposed that 5% of CSR mandated companies may be identified at random for assessment purpose. There was one another issue which has been highlighted by the companies, is about administrative expenses. So as of now, the provision stands that the administrative expenses on CSR projects should not be more than the 5% of the amount of CSR amount. The recommendation or the discussion was around whether it should be increased to 10%, and especially in cases where there is an assessment. So there is definitely a significant cost involved with regard to implementation of CSR projects or undertaking assessment studies. So that has been left open. It is proposed that it should be considered to be enhanced. Uniform taxation, as we discussed, has been proposed that all activities should be taxed uniformly. There have been discussion with regard to creation of CSR exchange portal that brings beneficiaries, companies, NGOs or implementing agencies on the same platform. There is also discussion on social impact companies. So the idea is to create a hybrid structure where it is not purely non-for-profit companies, and they should be able to give some kind of return to enhance the base or make it attractive for funds and social investing. International agencies are also seeking to be eligible for taking CSR projects, but that again there is no specific recommendation with regard to that. So after this committee report, the new draft bill had come, which is more or less on the similar lines, which again imprisonment is proposed to be removed, so criminal liability should not be there. The penalty should, civil penalty or civil liability should be 2 to 3 amounts of the default, or it is twice the amount involved, or rupees 1 crore, whatever is. CSR committee, again the burden has been taken off of companies where their CSR amount is less than 50 lakhs. So this is where we come to an end of this session, and we will meet in next session where we will take specific queries and comments that we have received from the subscribers and people of the corporate law journal community. Meanwhile, please feel free to send more comments, more clarifications with regard to the discussions that have happened so far. Till that time, see you again. Thank you.